Hello, my friends, and welcome to Inclusion and Beyond. My name is Craig Tornquist, and I am delighted to be back with you. And I'm super excited because I get to spend another session here with my co host and one of my favorite people in this whole world. His name is Jason Glenn. Jason, how are you?
Hello. I'm fantastic. Thank you so much.
And Jason, you and people have asked, well, how do we get our guests for the show? And we talk
Mhm.
about it. And I asked, Jason, who would you like to talk to? Who are people you admire that have been inclusive in one way or the other? Most of them are connected somehow to Special Olympics Indiana, which is what brought you and I together. But when
Right.
you brought up the name of tonight's guest, I said immediately, "Oh, this is going to be good." And so I'm going to
And
let you introduce her and bring her on because while I'm a fan, you're a friend. So why
I
don't you
am.
introduce our special guest for tonight?
Okay, I will. Thank you very much. Tonight's guest is somebody who is very dear to my heart. She's a fellow athlete, a competitor, and truly one of my best friends. Chelsea Davis has continued to inspire me on and off the field. Regardless of who or where you play, Chelsea Davis will be your friend. Chelsea, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Jason and Craig. I'm very excited to be here tonight.
Thank you so much. Chelsea, my first question is how long have you been involved with Special Olympics Indiana?
I've been involved in Special Olympics for 25 years now.
25 years. I thought you were only 21.
Oh, no.
So you've been involved for 25 years, and over the years, what sports have you done?
So I started out doing basketball, softball, swimming, bowling. Um, so I started out doing five sports at one time. And then it got to be a point where I just need to do only three sports at the time. So I continued to bowl. And now I actually coach. I'm one of the head coaches now here in Johnson County for volleyball. And then I also am now one of the coaches in basketball 3-on-3 for men now today.
Yes, and you won two games today, so congratulations.
Thank you.
Um, so you have a very interesting role in Special Olympics. You're an athlete,
Mhm.
you're a leader, but you're also an intern. Tell us what that's all about. What is this internship program? And how did you get involved in it? How were you selected? And what exactly do you do on a day-to-day basis?
So I had a long conversation with Kevin Aders from the state, and we had just been like talking back and forth about me being an intern, and he thought I would be really good at doing that. And I've enjoyed it. It's been pretty amazing to be a part of it. Basically, what I did the first 2 years of the internship was report to Kevin and Savannah and do different state office work. Um, and it was very exciting. I enjoyed being a part of it. Um, Now, I still do work for the state office, but it's different now. I kind of just review documents now from the state and then return back my review comments. And I enjoy that because I can work from home. It goes around my schedule pretty well because I do work a part-time job. So it's kind
Yeah,
of,
we're actually going to talk about that later.
yeah.
You have a really cool job too. Actually, you know what? Why don't we make it the next question? So you work for a company called Hope Gallery.
Mhm.
Tell us about that.
So the Hope Gallery is a nonprofit organization, just like Special Olympics.
Mhm.
And we work with like we employ people with intellectual disabilities. So the whole store is run by special needs adults. So we do inventory, we learn how to run the register, we learn how to work with customers, and we also greet the customers as they come in. And we also learn how to work with product that we bring into the store. I've been with that foundation for about 5 years now, and it's very amazing. That's actually how I got the, because of what I learned from that foundation, I was able to go out and um, get a part-time job without a job coach on hand. Now, the
Mhm.
lady who started the foundation, she helped me through the whole interview process and everything. And without her, I don't think I would have this job at this point.
So Hope Gallery
Mhm.
is located in Bargersville.
Yes.
And first of all, how did Hope Gallery start?
So it started, like I said, about 5 years ago. It's with the Alex and Allie Foundation. My really good dear friend, Jennifer Parker, she has a son, Alex, who has autism, and she wasn't sure what, possibilities there were, except for Special Olympics. She knew about Special Olympics, but what job opportunities there were for special needs. And when she started the foundation, um, we opened up the Hope Gallery, and I, was one of the first team members to start with the Hope Gallery. And I was very excited because I learned how to do register and I learned how to interact with customers. And I was very excited because I was like, hey, this is something I can do. And we were all over the news before we had the grand opening. So it was a very exciting um event to start, and I continue to do the foundation because it's something near and dear to my heart with the
So, if
foundation.
I'm not mistaken, most of the merchandise that they carry,
Hmm.
you guys create yourselves.
Yes. Yeah.
They're not buying a bunch of stuff and
Right.
putting it on their storefront. These are things that you have created yourself.
Yes, a lot of it is handmade in the store. We now have a workspace side now, that we expanded. So we have a storefront and then we have a work side space now. So we kind of split up. So like if there's like 10 of us team members, five of us will be on one side, one of us will be like a few of us will be on the other side. But I mean, making the products and selling them and seeing customer come in and seeing their reaction saying, "Oh, this is a very special product. This is a very special item."
Because it was made by you.
Yes.
Yeah. You also work at Chick-fil-A
Yes.
and you are going to be a manager soon?
So I'm getting in the training area right now. I'm learning different things in the back. So it's kind of cool because I'm learning different opportunities in the back. Manager position hasn't really come up yet, but we're getting close to being a certified trainer to where I train soon. We'll be training new employees that come in.
That is fantastic. So you have a very full plate
Yes.
and you still have time for your friends.
Mhm.
Yeah, what do you do for fun? Like, how do you have time for fun?
Honestly, it kind of differs a little bit because it just a lot of times when I have my fun time, I usually like to go to the movies with my girlfriends and just relax. Or it's
Mhm.
spending time with my family.
Right.
So like when I get to see like my dad's side of the family, it's pretty cool because we have that good relationship. And with my mom's side, like for Christmas, like the day after Christmas, we got to see my grandpa come out from Illinois, and he's
That's so
92.
awesome.
So yeah, it was
Yes.
kind of
So,
cool.
so you brought up your family. Your family is very involved in your
Hmm.
mission and all
Yeah.
the great things that you do.
Hmm.
Your mom is actually a coordinator. What's that like?
Yes. So it's a lot different, because, with my mom being in charge for Johnson County, it's pretty cool because I get to, go wherever she goes a lot of times. So like when we go to the state conference, we go together. If there's like a state event that she needs an athlete, a lot of times I'll go with her and kind of be that athlete that speaks for our
Mhm.
county a lot of times. So it's pretty nice to have somebody like my mom to um be in charge there.
Now, do you feel that you're held to a higher standard because of that?
A little bit, because I get to do a lot of the behind the scenes, like my mom. Because a lot of times it takes our whole management team, which I sit on as the athlete rep for our
Mhm.
management team. So a lot of times I am behind the scenes and instead of in the action, and it's pretty nice. Because then they'll see my mom and I both, and then they won't see us for a second because we're behind the scenes.
Right. So you mentioned all these great things you do, but
Mhm.
you were also a former Special Olympics state board member. Can you tell us about that?
So I sit on, like I said, I sit on the county management team. I sit on the athlete area 8 management team, and then I sit on the ALC as the vice chair. So I haven't really been on the state board, but sitting on three different management teams is pretty busy for me. Because I'm on meetings all the time. I'm doing emails all the time, which is fine because I can work at my own pace at that point. I can work from home, and I can still kind of do the things I want to do from home.
What's the best thing about being a coach? Because you've been an athlete for a long time, but I'm
Right.
guessing coaching is a very different experience.
It
What's the
is
best thing about being a coach?
being a coach is because you get to interact with those athletes more one-on-one than you do being an athlete. I get to know the athletes a lot better than um, I do on the court. So a lot of the athletes I've known for years, at least two of them I've been friends with since middle school. So we're basically like sisters on that end. But coaching is definitely different than being on like the athlete perspective. But that just shows that I know I can be a coach and I'm not going to give up on my team because I know that those athletes, like myself, can continue to go out there and be strong.
And is there a coach that you've had that you kind of modeled your coaching style after? You think, boy, that coach was great, and I'd kind of like to approach it the way he or she did.
Yeah, so there was like, so when I was in high school, there was so I was a manager for 4 years for our volleyball team for our high school. And I learned a lot from her because she was our volleyball coach. And I learned so much from her. And I was like, you know what? One of these days I want to do that. I want to be a volleyball coach. And now that I'm actually one of the head coaches for volleyball, and one of the assistant coaches for swimming, um, it's pretty cool to see how those athletes now, respond to you versus you actually on the court
That's
because
good.
you get a good relationship. You want to have a really good relationship with those athletes because then they know that they can trust you.
Very good.
So, my question about coaching is do you feel like you are given the same credit as most coaches are? Or do you feel like you have to fight harder to get the respect?
I feel like I'm getting the same credit as the other coaches. I mean, because like I said, it's a new thing for me to do. But I'm excited because I love coaching. Because I'm not going to leave an athlete out. I'm going to
Mhm.
let that athlete go in there and I'm going to be like, hey, you can do this. I know you can. Just do it, do as best you can. Don't give up. If, if you're struggling, just let me know and I can help you.
Right. So, what you've done so many different things in Special
Mhm.
Olympics. Is there one moment for you that has been like, wow, I cannot believe that I did this?
So last year I had the honor of, or the opportunity to carry the torch in with our Officer of the Year for our county. or for the
Mhm.
state level, at our county polar plunge. And Jim and I've got that good relationship because he's been involved with Johnson County for a while now with the sheriff's department. And when I walked out with him with carrying that torch, I mean, yes, I was a little nervous, but I knew that with him right there by my side and holding my hand through the whole thing, I knew I could do it.
I'd be afraid I'd drop it.
Oh no. So we had
It looks
him,
heavy.
right.
It looks
It is
like super
heavy,
heavy.
yes. It was very exciting because with Jim and I having that good relationship, because we were talking about it and we talked about how we were going to do this and we had a plan set, and the sheriff was right there next to me as well, so it helped out because he also has a good relationship. Like the Johnson County Sheriff's Department has a good relationship with us, so it helped that the officers were right there at all cost.
Right. So Special Olympics is so much more than sports. What
Right.
life lessons do you feel that you've um, learned from your time in Special Olympics?
I think because like all the training that I've had for athlete leadership, um, using all that training has helped me a lot. It's helped me even with the job that I have now and with the foundation, just those leadership skills. I can use those to also outside of Special Olympics. And I
Life
love that.
lessons. Right. As you know, I'm getting my very first degree in April.
Yeah.
And I feel like that would not be possible without you because there were
Oh,
moments
thank
where
you.
there have been moments during my tenure that I wasn't so sure that leadership was right for me. And you've always told me, you've been honest with me. There are
Mhm.
times where you've said to me, this may not be right for you right now.
Right.
But there was always, but there was when it was, but you're always like, you will know when it's your turn.
Right.
So thank you for always guiding me and being respectful. And
You're
so,
welcome.
Chelsea, you've done so many things in Special Olympics. What
Mhm.
is there left to do for you? What do you what's next?
I mean, I think continuing to coach is like a big thing for me because I love, um, like when I coach swimming, when I help coach swimming, I love getting in that pool with those athletes and swimming alongside them and seeing them success, seeing them do
Mhm.
really good. Like I worked with an athlete at Summer Games last year, and I was actually in the pool with him during the competition. Like I, was a few feet away from him, but I, kept on like saying, "Hey, let's go. You've got this," the entire time. And he managed to knock like 10 seconds off his original time. And I was
Right.
just in shock on his time. And our head coach wasn't there at the time, but our other coach was there. And when I texted our head coach, like his time versus what we had on our sheet, our head coach was just like, he immediately called me. He's like, "This athlete did what?" I'm like, "Yes."
Wow, that's so awesome.
So I mean, there were tears in my eyes because I was like,
Mhm.
"Oh my gosh, this athlete did so well."
So have you been to World Games yet?
Mm-mm.
No. Are USA Games?
So I've been to national games. I went a couple years ago to Las Vegas with my sister and brother-in-law and another athlete as a bowling team.
Yeah, the bowling. I've done that a couple times. That's
Yeah.
so awesome.
That was my first time in Vegas, so it was very exciting.
Yeah, that is so awesome. And
I've got one more question, Jason, if you don't mind.
yeah, of course,
Um,
go ahead.
Jason and I, a lot of people have reached out to us, and we've got all kinds of different people watching these shows. And so, Chelsea, you've got an opportunity right now to talk to people who may be on the fence. They may be thinking, well, I don't know if I like sports, but I'm not sure about this. They could be an athlete, they could be a potential coach. We're always looking for new athletes, we're always looking for new coaches. what advice would you give to people who are watching about getting involved with Special Olympics Indiana in general?
I would definitely tell them that if they know that they can coach, like if it's an athlete coming from an athlete, if they know that they can coach and they know they can do it, go for it. Don't give up on yourself. Um, if you want to get more involved in Special Olympics, you know that this is the best opportunity you're gonna love, and it's definitely something that's gonna last forever in your life.
Right. So if Chelsea, if I can add to that. So like we talk about our paths and how many different things we do.
Yeah.
Special Olympics is structured so that if you want to be an athlete, you can be an athlete. If you want to be
Right.
an athlete leader, you
Mhm.
can be an athlete leader. It
Yeah.
is not a requirement. These
Right.
are things we're not saying to you. We are not saying to people, hey, if you cannot lead, then don't bother, because that's not the way it
Right.
works. It took me a long time to get my first, second, and third shot at being
Mhm.
an athlete
Yeah.
leader. So we realize that the path is not the same for everyone else, but there is a place for everyone.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
you two are awesome, and I
Thank
I
you.
I knew I knew this was going to be a good conversation. And Chelsea, you remind me, I took a class one time on leadership, and the only thing I remember from the class is that the teacher said there are three ways to lead: by example, by example, and by example. Other people will watch what you do more than they will listen to what you say. And you're one of those Special Olympics folks that just leads by example, and you are sunshine wherever you are. And thank you for joining both of us tonight. I appreciate
Absolutely.
it.
Thank
It's
you
so much
so much,
fun.
my friend.
Yeah.
Jason, great job. And we'll be
Thank
back
you.
with another episode soon. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully next week.
Very good. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. And we'll see you next time on Inclusion and Beyond.
Good night,
Bye,
guys.
everyone.